happening, traders and investors? It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Sunday, May 22nd. Hope you're having a great Sunday and long weekend so far. In this video, going to discuss a little bit of a different format, some tips and tricks, and the best way to grow your portfolio. Obviously, there's multiple ways to grow your portfolio. There's no right or wrong way either. I'm just going to go over some things that have helped me along my journey that may be able to help you as well. Before we get to it, though, make sure to smash the like. It doesn't cost you anything. Help support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe and tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos. And first and foremost, this is not legal or financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. So do your own research. And again, what may work for some may not work for you. And there is no right or wrong way. There's only your way. So you can take what I say and what other people say, and then hopefully develop a strategy that works for you. But I'm going to go over some things that really helped me along the way, starting out as a new investor and a new trader. Primarily, I'm more of an investor, a long-term investor, than I am a trader. But I do both in my portfolios. I have a short-term and a longer-term no-touch portfolio, an investment portfolio, and then a swing and a day trade portfolio. But lately, I've just been taking a back seat. Working, building this community takes a lot of time as well. So I've just been sort of a set and forget type of mentality right now. But essentially, there's a lot to take in when you first get started, right? The markets are extremely complicated. And one of the biggest mistakes that I think a new person makes when they start their trading or investing career is they overcomplicate things, right? There's so many moving parts to the market that it's easy to get overwhelmed, right? So the number one thing that I would recommend is just, taking it slow and just one day at a time, one step at a time. Try not to get too overwhelmed. Realize that, not very many people are successful at becoming an investor or a trader, right? It's a very, very difficult thing to do. And it's just like anything, right? Just like riding a bike, it takes a long time to get good at it. And I would argue it's one of the hardest things on the planet, right? Probably one of the most challenging things I've ever had to do. And again, something that really helped me in the beginning was starting off with a low amount of capital and viewing my portfolio in terms of figures. Also, before even putting in $1 of real money, starting off with paper money. And that just means fake money, right? And you can do that through a number of different mediums. You can do that usually through your bank. I'm with RBC. They have a paper trading option, right? You can do it with multiple other brokers. So again, just look up best way to do some paper trading. Look at your broker as well, because you want to get used to trading within your actual broker, where you're going to be doing the majority of your trades or investments. You want to be familiar with that GUI, that graphical user interface. You want to have, you want to be used to setting buy and sell orders. You want to know what a stop loss is. All these different types of orders and tools that you can add to your tool belt that are going to help you, right? And some would say that, well, paper money isn't the same. You don't get the same rush and you don't deal with the same emotions because it's not real money. I would say, yes, that is true to a certain degree, but it's more or less just familiarizing yourself with all of the inner workings of your broker and placing a buy and a sell order and then learning what the different types of orders are, right? And that's going to help you when you do use real money, be able to cope with all of the emotions, right? If you forget how to set a stop loss, well, that's going to raise even more emotions, right? You're going to get even more, maybe worried or you're going to panic even more because you forget how to do a simple order, right? And these are all things that are going to help you become a better trader and a better investor as time goes on. Also, once you make the jump from fake money to real money, starting with, you don't need to start with 6 figures or 5 figures to be successful, right? I would say that's probably another one of the common mistakes that a lot of people do is they think they have to maybe even get a loan, and that is a bad idea in my opinion. If you're going to get a loan in order to start investing, you don't need $10,000 or $100,000 to become financially free, right? And as we know, it's the small things that matter, right? And a lot of people overlook the small things, right? And like I said in this tweet, what is the best way to grow your 7-figure portfolio? Think of your portfolio in terms of figures. Start with paper money, work your way up. Sounds simple, usually is, but we usually overlook the small things, right? And if we go from a 3-figure, maybe you don't need to start at a 3-figure. Everybody's situation is different, right? But if you only have $100 to invest, start with 3 figures. If you can invest $1,000, say, and start with a 4-figure portfolio, well, then start there, right? But again, I think you should start with paper money and then work your way up to real money, right? And again, don't compare yourself to everybody else or anybody else. We're all on this journey. We're all on a journey on our own. And there is no right or wrong way, and there is no time frame, right? As long as you're starting, as long as you're getting your feet wet and you're learning the markets and realizing that it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, right? That's the whole point of Pursuit of Wealth is, PAL Group, Pursuit of Wealth, is it's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. People in this, especially in this day and age, want that instant gratification. They just want to, put $10,000 in and then be a millionaire tomorrow, right? It doesn't usually work that way unless you're extremely lucky. But as far as I'm aware, that's probably less than 1% of the people on the planet have done that, right? So again, just starting off slow. If you can only start with 3 figures, great, start there. And then grow, get used to managing a 3-figure portfolio. Then after you grow a 3-figure portfolio into a 4-figure portfolio, get used to managing that, right? I've got a course here as well. You can go to palgroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com. Click on Academy at the top. It'll take you here. Click on Visit Academy, and you can enroll for a free course. I'm working on a couple of other courses as well that'll be a bit more advanced, but this is completely free. There's 3 chapters and 30 lessons in total. And we go over, what's the difference between investing and trading, what's the, some goals that you can set, the psychology of markets and things like that, different types of orders, stocks versus crypto, tons of information in there, a wealth of knowledge for free. And like I said, you can check that out, sign up. And I go over a lot of these different basics, so I'm not going to go over those here in this video for effort of time. Going to wrap this video up here now in the next minute or so, but just again, want to hit home the fact that if you can manage a 4-figure portfolio, once you get good at that, you can move on to the 5-figure, and that's where it takes, that's where it takes the most time, is to jump from that 4-figure to a 5-figure, and then from a 5 to a 6, and then after that, things just start to happen pretty quickly, right? Once you get from a 4 to a 5, and then that big leap from 5 to 6, that's when things really start to compound, right? And if you're not used to, and what I see a lot of people do is they take a loan out or something like that. That, in my opinion, if you're taking a loan out, that's a bad idea. But scared money never made no money, as they say. And if you're investing money that's not yours, you're probably going to be pretty scared a lot of the time, right? If things go down, you're likely not going to be able to weather the storm. And another thing is, if you're not used to managing 6 figures and you make a mistake, right? Or if you're not used to managing 5 figures and you make a mistake, you could easily be knocked down back to a 4-figure portfolio. Or in a 6-figure case, you could easily be knocked down to a 5-figure portfolio. And when I was new, I made every mistake in the book, right? I thought I knew everything, and then I was humbled by Mr. Market. And I was so glad that I started with a 4-figure portfolio and worked my way up to a 5-figure portfolio, because I actually lost in crypto, an exchange, Quadriga, went down, and I lost all of my Bitcoin. And I had Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin and 2 Ethereum, and I lost all of that because the exchange went insolvent. I could have blamed the exchange, but I blamed myself, right? I shouldn't have had all my money on one exchange. I should have did a little bit more research, right? I should have had some money on a hardware wallet. And then in stocks, right? When I first started with stocks, I didn't really know what I was doing. I got comfortable. I got cocky. I thought I knew what I was doing. And then I ended up losing a 6-figure portfolio back down to a 3-figure portfolio, right? So again, if you're starting with 4 figures or 5 figures, it's a lot less risk, right? And while you're learning the ropes, if you do make a mistake, it's not the end of the world, right? But if you're putting in 5 figures or 6 figures and you don't really have the money to do so, or you're new and you don't really have the experience, well, that's a recipe for disaster, right? And that's how usually people end up getting wrecked. Their account goes completely zero, and then they end up giving up, and the markets aren't for them, right? And that's not what I want to see anybody listening to my voice right now go through. And that's the whole reason why I created PAL Group, was to help people go through the motions of the market and not make the same mistakes that I made. So you can check out palgroup.ca, like I said, or pursuitofwealthgroup.com. We also have a membership, a private community where we do 24/7 community support. We do private member-only live streams as well, and you can bounce buy and sell ideas off of each other before you hit the buy and sell button, right? Check out the Academy for a free course. Like I said, a wealth of knowledge in there. And you can check out the PAL Group YouTube channel and go to the About section. We have tons of different affiliate links here as well. Full disclosure, they are our official partners. So if you're looking at getting into stocks, you can check out the official partner of PAL Group, which is Questrade. That's what we recommend. Also, make sure you get Pure VPN. A VPN helps protect you and your identity online, helps prevent you from getting hacked and things of that nature. future. And as we know, things are starting to ramp up in that aspect, right? We're seeing a lot of scams go around, and that's another thing that you need to be aware of as well, is protecting your account, not falling victim to phishing attacks. Now is when the scammers come out, right? When stocks and cryptos are very overvalued. Now is where we need to pay the most attention and be the safest and just question everything, right? Just be very vigilant and do our due diligence and make sure that we're double checking everything. And if anybody's saying, send them X amount of crypto and get double back, like I said, just picture everything as a scam and you will be fine. And like I said, just don't overcomplicate it. That's the number one thing that I think most people do is they try to learn too much too quickly. Just take it one step at a time, one day at a time. Remember, it's a journey. Nothing happens overnight. Going to end it there. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. If you could smash the like on your way out, it'll help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, subscribe and tick the bell and be notified on any future videos. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you on the next update.